practice doing the Tai Chi form so that we can see what it is. We're just going to do basically all 3 sections. I will sort of name things a little bit as we go along, but see if you can follow along. You have a profile camera here. It's going to be weird because I'm going to have my back to the camera for a little bit, right? Like while I'm facing that way. In the future, I have a new camera on the way. Web cameras take a very long time to arrive now from Amazon. Everything's on back order. So I have another high def camera coming and a 30-foot USB cable, which I'll wire another camera on that side. So we'll have multiple cameras to look at. In the meantime, just follow along. How's everybody doing? Questions, thoughts, comments? Devin, good to see you. Tika, good to see you. Yeah, yeah. All right, let's do Tai Chi. So start by bringing your head top up to the highest point and relaxing your tailbone. Relax your shoulders. Bring your hands together in the center. And then from the head top, relax your brow, open your vision, tucking the chin, ears lined up with the shoulders roll back and relax. Center is engaged, lower back is relaxed, knees are bent, feet gripping the ground, pronounce the arch in your foot. And then when you're ready, we're going to open the left foot, extend power all the way to the fingertips. And from here, we're going to draw a circle, grasp the sparrow's tail on the right side. Stepping forward, ward off. Grasp the sparrow's tail on the left side. Ward off. Turn the feet accurately, geometrically. I can't see your feet, but you can see mine. They line up with my carpet. This is press. Breathing deep, this is push. Look left, glance right, double press. Turn 90 degrees. This is hook, single whip. Split. And then lift hands to up posture, turning 90 degrees. I'm modifying the form. We have crane, split, brush, brush, press. We repeat crane one more time. And in the first section, we only have one brush knee press. From here, we go right into holding the moon in the chest. We've taken out 2 brush knee presses. We return to that in the second section, but so that people can practice in the space of their home. And then also 1 Ban Lan Shui. Ru Feng. Press, press. Return tiger to mountain. Bring the right foot to the left, step to the T, step to the square, palm press to the center, breathing deep. This is roll back. Join the palms together. Push. Turn 90 degrees, we're facing the side. This is hook. We have turn back to look at the moon. The right hand covers, left hand goes through the center. This is repulse the monkey. Keep your gate closed in the front. Scoop, step back, press. One more, scoop, step back, press, repulse the monkey, bow knee and hold. And now opening to the side. This is a Sherfei, diagonal flying. Hai Zhang is needle at the bottom of the sea. Try to keep your neck straight. Sen Tong Bei. Fen Shen Pi Shen Shui, block punch kick. Lan. Shui. Keep your back straight. This is Di Bu Hua. Shang Bu Li. Heng Lie So. Horizontal split hands. Facing north, this is hook. We have side whip, and this is cloud hands. So when you do cloud hands in the smaller space, don't take a large step. Just step shoulder width wide. 2, 2, 3 of 3. The owl show is hook, corner whip, Han Kan Bian. This is Gao Tan Ma. And Gao Tan Ma number 2, facing south, turning, scoop, brush, press. Brush knee, C-step, palm press to the center. Brush knee, straight step. Punch, turning 180. Lan. Shui. This is called Zhou Hua. Da Li is big rollback. Embrace tiger. Da Li. Embrace the tiger. Scoop the moon from the ocean. This is facing southwest. Kick. Brush. Air foam going air, 2 winds going in the ears. Stepping back. Just like grasp the sparrow's tail, making a circle. To kick. Turning. 1, 2, 3. Catch. Kick. Turning west. Block. Punch. Kick. Lan. Shui. This is the end of the second section. Rufo. Press. Press. Bao Hu Hui Shang. Return tiger to mountain. Bring the right foot to the left. T-step or Kobu. Square step. Palm press directly to the center. Breathing deep. Turn the feet mathematically. Join the palms, and when you press, press to the center. Horizontal split hands. The owl show is hook, side whip. This is wild horse parting its mane. Square step, expand, breathing. Wild horse parting its mane. One more. Breathing deep, roll back. Press. push, look left, glance right, double press, horizontal split hands, turn 90 degrees facing north. This is the owl show is hook, side whip. This is Yo Yan Chuan So, Jade Lady, working the show. Press to the corner. Breathing. Keep your tailbone relaxed when you turn. Press to the corner. Facing the next corner. Yo Yan Chuan So. Number 3. And then the same thing, keep your tailbone relaxed. Turning. Press. Left grasp the sparrow's tail. Right press. Step into the square shape, take a deep breath, press forward. Push. Look left. Glance right. Double press. Split facing north. This is hook. Corner whip, turning west. Snake creeps down. D long. Bring the right side up. This is Jinji to Li. Sink the right side, left side comes up. Jinji to Li. Right into repulse the monkey. 1, 2, 3, opening to the side. This is Sherfei. And now, needle at the bottom of the C is the left hand and the right foot. Santong Bei is the same. Fan through back. Fen Shen Pi Shen Shui, block punch kick. Lan. Square step, punch forward. Keep your spine in line vertically. This is Di Bu Hua. Shai Bu Li. Press forward. Schwan An. Split, hook. This is side whip, parallel to the camera, and this is cloud hands in the third section. So remember, don't take a big step. Shoulder width wide is enough. Feet together. 2 of 2. 3 of 3. Take a deep breath. This is the owl show. Han Dang Bien. And from here, this is snake flashing its tongue. The right hand covers, left hand comes in. Turning 180, turn the foot. Kick. This is called cross kick, step, brush, punch, half fold knees, change step, return to natural breathing to roll back. Horizontal split. Hook. This is corner whip. Second snake creeping down. When we return, stepping square, step up to 7 stars. Turning 90 degrees to the front. This is called Chuan San Hua Hu. Turning 180 to the south. 白脸，活动 circle， 分线、P 线、水、浪、水、如风、四 B。Return tiger to mountain. Right, left. Bring the left foot back to the right side. Okay, so how do you feel? Yeah, so that's 15 minutes of the class, right? That's if let's say if we started at 7:30, I think we might have started just a little bit earlier than that, maybe right around that time. How is it to follow online?
Good. It's I mean, it's not as easy, obviously, as when you can see a person in full dimension, but it's pretty good.
Okay, yeah, I mean, you know, we're dealing with what's there. Are you using the gallery view, or are you just following this camera?
I'm following just your main camera.
One camera, okay. So nobody else is using this camera over there. You can't do what I'm doing.
I mean, what I'm actually finding is when I turn around, it would be nice if I could figure out how to put another camera at another device at the other side to see from this angle. We're trying to catch the reflection in the window, but that's only going to work at night.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, man, somebody in industrial design should make a multi monitor setup that's wireless with some cameras and stuff that's all powered, and they would sell a lot of those on Amazon for Zoom, because that's what we're dealing with. Okay, cool. So before we continue, anyone have questions? Thoughts, comments? That's moving pretty quickly through the form. Everybody's warmed up. What we were talking about before everybody logged on was my teacher said you can use the Tai Chi form for anything. So I think for my class format, we're going to do the Tai Chi form once a class in the beginning, actually as the warm-up. All 3 sections. It may not be very beginner friendly, but that's okay. That's not what we're we have to appeal to everybody. They need to practice the form just as much as we do, and then spend the rest of the time sort of answering questions. I think we'll get to a pace where it's going to be 15 to 20 minutes in the beginning, and then dealing with some very specifics. Everybody has stuff that they're working on, as far as like there'll be new people that have 0-day experience. There's some people saying that they're going to take class that haven't studied Tai Chi before, so they're going to be thrown to the wolves, trial by fire, something like that. Yeah. No questions. Let's actually work on cloud hands. So cloud hands, I can face the camera. We can face either direction. If we start, let's actually do something like this. If you see my fist, this is like a spear fist, sometimes called ox tongue palm. Sometimes in Bagua it's called a willow leaf palm. But in here, we want to place the thumb between the middle and the ring finger. And we're just going to bring it up this way. And so the idea is that this is closed. We can leave it open, but it's a different effect when it's closed. And the concept is, even if there's something very weighty, right? We have something that has some substantial weight. We want to be able to move that without affecting our structure. So while you practice the Tai Chi, when we make these circles, right? Just like we're doing grasp the sparrow's tail, but we're going to add some hand detail. So turning one circle, bringing it up just in front of the face. So just like grasp the sparrow's tail, there's these 2 circles with this pivot point right here. And then we're going to add, the next one is when we turn. So I don't want you to turn so much that you turn your knee. Relax your tailbone so that you can be sensitive of your legs, and turning just the waist so that we're turning, if you can see my second camera, 180 degrees, and then turning 180 degrees.
So Brian, when you say the waist, you mean the quad as well? Or really just
you can, if you understand that, you can, but you can also just leave your, as if from the pelvis down is locked, And so only thing that's turning, you may see a little bit of this happening in my legs, but basically this is locked so that I'm turning my spine from my lower back and through my waist here. In this Tai Chi class, when we talk about turn the waist, that's the soft tissue between the iliac arch on the pelvis here and the lowest rib on this side here. So the waist being that soft tissue. We can turn that waist without really affecting the lower. In fact, we can practice sort of locking that in place. So for right now, just for this exercise, if you like to add something like the Shei Kwa and the Yin Yang, you can add that if you like, if you know what that is. Or you can just think of it as shifting between one foot and the other foot. And here, don't do this. See how if you can see that piping on the side of my leg, that means my knee is twisted. So if it has to turn the whole leg so that the knee doesn't become separated as such, but instead it works like one piece. But we shouldn't have to turn that much. We're gonna add another movement, which is once this comes up, we're gonna turn the palm out as such. Like you're carrying a tray, you have something that you wanna carry around this way. So we go from palm up or palm in, the palm is facing us. And when we turn, this is so if my opponent is from the side, if I'm here, when I turn, I have something, I can see through this. If there's power coming in my direction, if there's already something here, I can block that and be on the inside of it. So from the profile, from the side, when this turns, we're gonna open the palm out this way, as if we have a serving tray. So let's practice that on both sides. So it's folded and then opens. And on the other side, it's folded and then it opens. And so really try to get your palm flat to the sky. Ultimately, we'd like to have this forearm also vertical. So this type of, you should feel a tendon stretch. You should feel like this curvature here is opening the tendons on your forearm. So it's closed and then open, closed, and then open, closed, and then open, closed, and then open. And then we're going to add another one. So when it's closed and then open here.
What is the purpose of the closed hand with the thumb there? What does that do for you?
There's a structural strength. If the hands are open and somebody's attacking, right? Let's say there's a stick that's coming this way. If my hands are open, it's more like a brush, right? It's like a broom or these are bristles. So if there's something heavy, I can use this like a brush, right? So we can, there's a technique for that. In this one, we want to use it like a stick. So if there's something there, we can move it. And then we're gonna, let's expand the movement, we'll look. So the next one, once it's open, we're gonna turn the palm over. So just like this, it actually looks like a Taiji symbol, right? We wanna have like the yin and yang, so the S shape. So it comes up, and then when I turn, I open, and then turn over this way. So this is like, imagine you have a hand puppet, and it's like a snake or some kind of bird or dinosaur, but the shape is like a spring. It's set because the last one is the open again. So there's 4 palms. We have it closed, palm up, palm down, palm out, right? So let's try it on both sides. We'll go super slow. Left hand, right hand, doesn't really matter. We'll close the hand, open, turn it over, reach out. And now on the other side, bringing the hand up, it opens, turns over, and presses out. So up, open, close, and out. You can connect all the movements, and you can start doing both. This one, so this, what I'm teaching you is the most complex variation of cloud hands that I know. Cloud hands can also just be very simply turning like this. Imagine you're walking through a crowd of people and you don't like to have any of them touch you, be around you. You just like you're making a big, soft, billowy cloud. Even if it's a heavy weight, this is a 100-pound bag filled with mung beans. This movement, right, can just, if we're stepping with power through the thing, we can use this kind of thing to push the people out of the way. But if we like to make something more complex, say for instance, somebody is attacking me with a stick, right? And the stick is coming in this direction and my opponent is here. The goal, what we're looking to do, is when I turn, I want to protect because I want to have my face covered. So anytime that we turn, the same thing in the second section, when we turn this way, right? I have my forearm here. When I'm turning here, before I wind up with this, the transition. So the same thing here. When I turn, there's power coming from the side. I can block this way. And then, by relaxing my arm, I can wrap around this thing. So when it's here, this type of movement then allows me to drive the power all the way forward, right? So you can imagine a stick or somebody's arm coming into the side of your space. And again, when we cover, we want to look to see our opponent. We want to look to see our target. And then relax, because this opening makes it just like if you have a dish towel. There's a towel, and you have something, and you like to wrap the thing over wrap the towel over the stick or the weapon. Your hand is as relaxed as the towel. So it comes up. It's yin and yang. It's firm at first so that we can block. And then once it contacts something, it immediately relaxes. So as soon as it hits, it becomes soft. And then once we turn, we don't even need to see. We can feel along that path and push. So this is cloud hands. So just going back to the beginning, we have one, turn, open up, press down, push out. And now on the other side, we have block, open, and press. So you can think of palm in, palm up, palm down, and palm out. There's 4 steps. And you can be turning the whole time. And again, if you understand what the movement is, you can do this with a relaxed hand the whole time, knowing there's a moment of impact when you're blocking the thing before it becomes soft to press in, right, to change. So it's changing between relaxed and thing. Now let's add the step. So if we start from the center, wherever the center is, and we go to one side or the other, when we turn, we have to have the power connected on this part of the arm before we step through. So if I use the bag as the example here, when I turn, I can step through as such. So when we play Tai Chi, when we're practicing the Tai Chi form, you want to be able to envision or feel what the power is. In Chen Men Ching's book, he says, when you're playing push hands with somebody, imagine there's nobody there. Because when we fight with people, it's very intense, it's very stressful, right? The reason I don't like fighting is the vibration. There's a real heavy vibe. So he says, when you fight with somebody, imagine there's nobody there. It's just sticks that you need to get out of the way so that you can achieve the target. But he says, when you practice the Tai Chi form, he says, imagine there's somebody there. So we should be, when we're doing the Tai Chi form, when we have a ward off or a rollback and a press and a push, we can use all of that weight to be generating power through the legs, through the arms for the Tai Chi form. So the same thing, cloud hands, if we turn to one side, when we turn to the other, you can step and press. So what's happening with the other hands? Remember, the hands working like yin and yang, always their partners working together. So when one is working, the other one's resting. One example, one way that TC would talk about this is imagine this is a flower. And you have a stem, and it sits in the flower pot. And so during the day, in the morning, the flower is closed. And when you turn, the flower opens to the sun, and in the evening, it closes, and then we press out, right? So this being seated here, we always have the gate closed. Now, does everyone understand if I say the word frame, what the Tai Chi frame is, right? Thumbs up, yes, no. Tai Chi frame is the same as a door frame. So this is my door frame here. If we have a really small door, we have a really small door frame. So when we practice Tai Chi, if I step very wide and I make my posture very large and grasp the sparrow's tail, it's here, and my ward off is here, that's a very large frame, right? This is sort of how to draw Tai Chi. But when I open to the side, if I just do grasp the sparrow's tail here, and my ward off is just in the front, and my grasp the sparrow's tail and ward off, throw back and press. This is what's considered a very compact frame. So the same thing with when we're doing cloud hands, we can have a very large frame and step far. But because we have limited space, we can just step shoulder width, or even less, you can make a small step. So the step will determine the frame. Also how far you reach. The size of the circle that we're making with the arms is usually the size of the frame and the legs. Cloud hands. We have 4 parts, turning to press. And then on the other side, the hands change. One hand comes under. So the gate is always closed. If you like to make a larger frame, they don't have to be connected. But for people interested in martial arts, if you're interested in boxing, even for the Xingyi, if I know Charlotte's studying the Xingyi, the change that my teacher taught me is that everything is closed in the front. There's no way to get to my gate. So if you turn like this, it's closed. But if we're practicing in the park, you can leave everything very open. So it's a difference between if you're boxing with somebody, right? Devin, I know you work out other martial arts plays. You can keep this closed and use it as very compact frame. Or when you're practicing Tai Chi, you can make these big swirling, like calligraphy with a large brush, if you've ever seen people paint with a full body size brush. Cloud hands, right, press, left, step, and press. Direction isn't important. We can go both ways. In the form, we only step in one direction. And if you watch, can you step while you press away? Or can you step while you press towards? Cloud hands is actually it seems very, very simple. But once we start to combine what the hands are doing, what the feet are doing, I have a book that's entirely dedicated just to cloud hands. It seems very, very basic. Let's actually try. I'll mirror you. So if you use your one hand and press directly to the side, and then when you turn from here, you can step, then shift weight, and then extend your arm. Or if we go and we do the same thing on this side, when we turn, we can extend the arm and then step. What's the difference between the two? Is how the power. On one, when I turn, once I'm connected here, I can step and press. And the other one is once I've connected here, once I step, this is a press, right? So like a push. So again, this can become very complex. By the way, you may notice when we do the form, when I'm facing this way, I lift my foot. The feet are like yin and yang also, right? You're always studying the Tai Chi symbol, the yin and yang, to know what's happening. And the feet, one is always active and the other one is always waiting. So to highlight for people, instead of some teachers hiding it, they don't show. But for me, I tilt one foot up. So this is up. So when I turn, I step and press. And now the same on this one. When I'm here, as if I'm stepping, but I'm not stepping, I'm transferring the weight internally through the right side. And I'm maybe shifting my hips to exaggerate. Everything should be Haldium, like a Zhongding, a central gravity. So now when I turn, the same thing, I can step, press, and when I bring my other foot, when I turn, transfer, so that we have this power that goes out, right? Even though the feet are together, right? That weight shift, but we're hiding it, and we're also showing it it's a very subtle, very sublime type of subliminal. So the head top is here, so we turn, transfer, turn. Again, I'm exaggerating it so you can see. Cloud hands, press, step and press, press, step and press. Questions, thoughts, comments on cloud hands? Cloud hands appears in the middle of the second section. It's about maybe 1/4 of the whole way through the whole form. And again, we could analyze this one. If you think of it, if I use the camera as a profile, this is like a one-handed block and attack at the same time. So if I'm carrying something that's, let's say if I have one of my hands full, right? I got a teapot in my hand and I don't want anyone to take my teapot, right? I can use cloud hands to both block something that's here and attack in that direction while this one is doing its thing, right? So you can use cloud hands, and it's in this particular style, it's usually to the side. There's something there, we want to move it and press in. Another thing to think about is what was this? I can't even think of what the character's name was, but there was a popular television show in the US in the 90s, and it was called In Living Color. And there was a character and he would go, right? Anyone remember that? No? Okay. The idea is just like you're throwing something. You have something and you want to flick it. You have a towel and you want to throw it, right? So you, just like this movement. If somebody's punching and you have this, it's completely relaxed. So the more firm, the more power that this comes with, the easier it is to wrap around it, right? If you have a steel post, you have silk. So the softer this is, and the easier it is to deflect. But if you have two pieces of metal, they're just banging off each other. So this one, wrapping and then pressing to the thing. And then when you put your center behind it, there's multiple ways. You can move your center first and then extend, right? So this, I can do cloud hands where if there's power here, I turn, step, press, right? Or I can turn, step, and press at the same time. You can make it a push, a strike, a block, and a strike. It's quite. But what I want you to get is the opening of the tendons on the forearm. So we have this, the hands turning. This hand can be facing up. It can also be facing down. In the shingi, we have this type of stance. So this hand is here, right? If we're defending, you have, when your opponent sees nothing but hands in your center line, right? So the same thing for cloud hands. When I turn, I can leave this one here like a yin-yang, like I'm holding the taiji ball and then change to here. But I can also turn it so just like I end almost like I'm doing Shingi Chuan sideways, right? The Santishi, the three treasures posture sideways. So depending on what you like to do. So when you go to the park, when you practice the Tai Chi, you can practice cloud hands. You don't have to show anybody anything. If you have the balance and you have this where you can maintain your step, you can practice just like this structurally. But if you feel like you want to do some kung fu, right? You want to do something, you can turn and press, right? With a fall step, with no fall step. There's no real accurate timing. You should have some idea in your mind what you like to achieve, right? Like what you hope to get with that. Before we continue, thoughts, questions?
Well, my question is, this is sort of a Chansu type movement, except that unlike Chansu, where you're trying to keep everything in motion continually, you sort of stop with one hand while you're covering under that opposite elbow, yeah?
Well, technically, we always want continuous motion. So if it's calligraphy, the pen is always touching the paper. So the same thing when we're here, when this turns to press, I don't want any of that power to dissipate. I'm already doing the Chauncey going the other way. So the Chauncey that Charlotte's talking about, my teacher taught a very basic one, just as if there's two different hand positions where like you're holding the ball and then you change and then you're holding the ball this way, right? So the hands are facing each other and we have grasp the sparrow's tail, this one. So we want to keep the shoulders relaxed. The elbows are in place, but they're expanded. So we want to always feel like if I have a weight here, that my expansion is keeping that weight away, but it's effortless. So if I stand here, like any point along the circle, I'm expanded. So when we do grasp the sparrow's tail and ward off, when this opens, once I'm here, this is still expanding, right? It's not, maybe I may sometimes make it look soft and really, I don't know. But here, there should always be power to that elbow, right? I don't ever want anything to get into we don't ever want anything to get into our space. So when we practice, there's power out here. And the same thing for ward off. We should feel like if there's a wall behind us, that we can expand away from it by expanding, right? So does that answer your question? Yeah.
Yes.
Let's do the second section up to cloud hands. So we'll start, actually, I'll start facing the camera, but we're going to turn. No, I'll start facing away from the camera, but we'll turn. So from Tai Chi Harmony, if we open shoulder width wide, send power all the way out to the fingertips and relax the tailbone sinking down. And then from here, the right hand, left hand, this is return tiger to mountain. Bring the right foot in, T-step or kobu. When we turn, looking through the space, and then square step. This is covering the gate in the front, palm press. And then breathing deep, turn the feet for roll back. Join the palms together. This is press forward. Push. Look left, glance right, Schwang on. Keep the expanded feeling. It's relaxed, the tailbone is sinking. Turn 90 degrees, turn your both feet 90 degrees. This is split, hook, and then turn back to look at the moon. Just like cloud hands, we cover first, and then the other hand also covers, and then through the center. Repulse the monkey. Breathing deep. Keep your balance. Step back to the square. The gate is closed. Breathing. Scoop. Step back. Press. One more. Breathing. Avoid. Make contact. Advance. And now opening to the side. Again, like a center post with a cross beam. Knee and elbow lined up so that your structure is geometric. Turning, just like cloud hands, we're going to turn the fingers over, pointing down. Keep your neck straight. You can relax your tailbone. Needle at the bottom of the seat. This is San Tong Bei, square step. Like drawing a big circle, block, punch, kick. Step square, breathing deep, line is open, swing, keep the head top up. This is Di Bu Hua. Change step, breathe deep, this is roll back. Press. Push. Look left. Glance right, double press. horizontal split hands. We have another, the Alshos hook, side whip. My feet are parallel to my carpet. Cloud hands, press right, and then you can either press and step or step and press. There's many, many combinations for cloud hands. Press, close, palm up, palm down, palm out, palm in, palm up, palm down, palm out, in, up, down, press, in, up, down, press. So you get the idea. By the way, everything is based off of Grasp the Sparrow's Tail. What we'll find eventually is that the first two movements, they don't actually repeat for the rest of the form. We never see the Yo Lan Shou Wei and Zo Lan Shou Wei happen except the very first two movements. And the reason is because they're the basis for all of the other movements. So if we just take a kind of a tall horse stance, you can relax the tailbone, straighten the neck, sink the shoulders, and just turning these two circles. And so imagine if power is coming, if we just turn this like this, if I relax my center and turn, if somebody's putting something in there, it gets knocked to the side. This is the most basic. So protecting the center, right, is here. These hands always covering my center. If something's coming in, I can move it out of the way. So even Grasp the Sparrow's Tail has the same feeling that we talked about with cloud hands. So this turning, but here it just goes to catch. So if power is coming to my center, right, if somebody is attacking my center, instead of going around and turning and then pressing along it, for Grasp the Sparrow's Tail, we simply go over and catch, right? It's a simpler type of movement. But the circle is the same. The circles are the same. So this kind of turning here is the basis. So we grasp the Sparrow's Tail and continue turning. So that turning should be a continuous flow through the thing. And optimally, if we're dealing with like a martial arts application, boxing, and we have more than one opponent, we should be able to deal with one opponent and another opponent and the next opponent here and turn to keep dealing with. It's a flow, right? In fact, the more opponents, sometimes the easier, because like a wheel, we can just keep turning over. How do you feel? Good. All right, it's about 20 after. So unless anybody has any questions, I got to teach in the morning as well. And tomorrow's Saturdays and Sundays are big training days for me. I'm thinking Sunday night, same, like something similar, like 7:30 to 8:30. We had done that before. And Aaron Scott is requesting a weekday class in the morning or nighttime, something like that. So yeah, if you guys want to get logged in tomorrow, I don't know what it's going to be. I sent out to a bunch of people. I only got a few responses, but some of them are people that have studied, some of them people that haven't studied. So we'll see who shows up. Yeah.
So Sunday would be Brian, Sunday would be at 8:30 at night or 7:30 at night and not at 8:30 in the morning?
Yeah, 7:30, 8:30 at night. On Saturdays and Sundays, I have training on Saturday mornings from like, I don't know, 8 to noon or something. And Sunday mornings is like not like 9:30 to 1 or like 12:30 or something. He always ends up going late on both days. So it's like 3 hours on one day and 4 hours on the next day. Plus now I'm adding my morning class. We may do maybe a Sunday morning class as well. I just got a big hard drive archive that is completed, and I have a whole bunch of Qigong from another teacher that was also studied with TC, but he was also a Taiji master, and he had a whole system of Qigong that I'm trying to canonize. So I might do something like a Sunday morning class for him. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that's happening, so we'll figure it out. But my goal is to do Tai Chi every class, right? That way we always have a chance to do it. Questions, thoughts, comments?
Sounds great. Brian, is tomorrow 8:30 or 8?
Oh, that's a good question. I gotta look at my email.
Okay, well, I'll look there too. I'm sure it's in there.
I think it's, was it, because what time is his class? Hang on, I'll tell you, because I basically left myself a little margin between my class and his class. So the class tomorrow starts at 10, so it must be 8:30 to 9:30 on Saturday.
That's the one that you had listed before for everybody. It's Saturday, not Sunday, right?
Saturday, yeah, tomorrow morning, 8:30 to 9:30 morning, right?
Okay.
The email link that I sent out on Wednesday, that one will work. The one that I sent you tonight is like a custom one. Zoom's kind of weird. Like I pay for Zoom. I bought like the professional package or whatever, and I should have a thing that you can dial into at any time, almost like a landline for Zoom. I have a meeting name and password. That way I don't have to keep sending them out. But the link that you have from the email on Wednesday will only work for Saturday mornings. So if you try to log into that, like on Tuesday afternoon, it'll say, great, the meeting starts in like, 4 or 5 days and whatever hours. So it'll just become it'll just be easier as time goes on. Like hopefully Zoom will update the software and they'll have more options for scheduling and stuff. Yeah, question.
Yeah, that's the one, the original one. If I go to the original email from you, I can get on to the tomorrow morning class?
Yes, the
Okay.
email from Wednesday, because I had sent one out a while ago so that you guys could get your cameras all set up, like the first one.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same link, but whatever I sent on Wednesday should work. I
I don't know
hope.
if I got one from you on Wednesday.
I'm certain I sent it.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll look for it.
look it up. It's fine. Yeah, because I carbon copied like a whole bunch of people.
Okay.
So yeah, that'll be that. So are you guys still watching single camera view? This other camera isn't really that useful.
It's too far away for me though.
Okay, which is fine actually. That saves me from having to do it. And like I have another software that I use called OBS, which is like for screen capture and stuff. And it allows me to build in like picture-in-picture in my camera. So hopefully Zoom will get multiple camera support and it won't be quite so limited. You can see multiple cameras. We'll get like just a portion of the screen. We'll have another picture-in-picture from a camera from another angle or from up in my loft, facing down or something. But the software is very primitive. It's only been around for 6 months. It's like a prototype thing. And so hopefully the controls will be improved for that. So cool. All right. Yeah, I think that's it. It's 25 after. So enjoy the rest of your evening and I'll see you in the morning. Email me if you have new questions.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Brian.
Cool. All right. Have a great night.
Great.
Thank you.
Bye.